You know, there's lots of dead cattle that we've been running into all over the place out here. There's bones scattered everywhere. And at first it seems kind of sad. Then you think about it, realize that that cow got to live its entire life being a cow and never got taken to a stockyard or to a slaughterhouse or anything. So it's about as good of an outcome as you could have expected being a cow. Yeah. This place is a ghost town. So we got kind of an easy morning out of Lordsburg. Clover's behind me by a couple hundred yards. I don't know if you can see him. Liana left yesterday to try to get a little bit of a head start because he's moving slower than us. I think we've got like I don't know, dozen or 15 more miles to this open terrain, and hopefully we're up in elevation into some trees, which we've been really looking forward to. There is an antelope or a pronghorn or something trotting over there. It's the first legitimate wildlife I've seen in the entire trail. It's interesting to note that the desert pronghorn is the fastest animal in North America. And from what I understand, it's because they evolved side by side with the American cheetah, which obviously doesn't exist anymore, but it did in the Pleistocene until it went extinct along with a lot of the other megafauna. But the pronghorn survived, and so they can reach speeds of like, I don't know, over 50 or 60 miles an hour or something. I don't know the exact speed, but something really fast. And there's nothing really at this point in time that can catch them naturally, so they're doing pretty well. That also got me thinking about something I had read about persistence hunting. And I don't know how true this is, but it's interesting if it is true. But supposedly, since we're bipedal, our respiration is not affected by our steps. We can, breathe at an independent rate from the amount of steps we take. And because we're hairless, we don't need respiration to radiate heat. But a lot of the quadrupedal animals, every time their front legs hit the ground, it compresses their chest cavity and it makes their breathing less efficient. And so not only can they not breathe effectively whenever those feet are hitting the ground, but oftentimes they can't radiate heat effectively. So the size and stature and walking speed of the average human may have been evolved to fit right inside the window that would make it optimally inefficient for animals to be able to respirate and radiate heat. Well, here we are, about a half mile off trail at a stocked tank. I'm going to say that we planned this, but there's supposed to be no water in this area. We found like 3 water sources right here, mostly because of our poor navigation skills, but that's not what we're gonna write on the comments on Gut Hooks when we tell everybody about all this secret water. We've also been walking for about 4 hours this morning, and you can still see Lordsburg down it's a very slight incline we've been walking up, but it's kind of to be expected in this area because, as we've learned, all these wide open spaces are much wider than it may appear. Got more of the pronghorns too, a little closer this time. How they amble, it's really interesting, not like deer. Just say hi.
Oh, it's so small.
Yeah.
It's so huge.
We're walking by this valley, and it's just so dry in here. We were just thinking about how it must look really nice in a springtime when there's actually been rain, but it's hard to appreciate when it's just been dry and oppressively hot all day, every day. It's got a good mix of junipers and maples and different kinds of trees. We're definitely feeling, you know, a change here with the elevation increase. Unless you've thru hiked before, I feel like you've got to reserve judgment on this, but I feel like there's an etiquette thing where if you find trash on trail and you just act like you don't see it, it's not your responsibility. But in this case, somebody left some trail mix in the middle of the trail between the two of us. We thought about it long enough and figured, I think it's worth it to pick up this trash so that we can eat these mangoes that came from God knows where. Of particular interest was some kind of dried sweet carrot that's in here. We both liked it. We're gonna try to figure out what this was and track him down in Silver City or something and ask him where it came from. Somehow it's taken us till this point to set up camp before it was dark. We haven't done it until now on the entire CDT, but it's nice. We've got my cowboy camping set up here, a little area to make dinner over there, and then Alex is camped under the trees. And honestly, this is probably the best campsite we've had this far too. Overall, pretty good evening.
Fresh Prince had to swallow his pride and end his streak of cowboy camping, and now he's hurriedly setting up his tent as these rain clouds approach. Notice his already inflated pad and very expensive sleeping bag just laying in the fucking road because it's the only place that he was confident enough that he could set his pad on without it puncturing from the many needles and thorns and things.
Trying to walk it. The clouds have left, but I've learned my lesson before. I've done this before, and I've put my shit up to cowboy camp and we gotten soaked, so I'm doing it. I'm using the fucking tent.
It's like Frogger, but on easy mode.
Claim your choice, sir.
Is there sodas? Oh my god, there's sodas. I'm getting decision fatigue. I don't know.
I chose root beer.
Yo, it's Sprite.
Been a bit of a tough day, actually. We had the first climb of the whole trail. I mean, the first legitimate one, over 1,000 feet over Burrow Mountain. I'm a bit ahead of Clover, actually, because I'm trying to get to this place called Burrow Mountain Homestead, which is where Liano is, apparently. He left town a day ahead of us, as I may have mentioned, and he's gotten there and managed to buy us some good snacks and stuff, or sodas or whatever, before their little camp store closed, which is enough to motivate me to get moving. So there'll be a twofer. We'll reunite with him and get some good stuff to eat and drink, which would be really nice. Really looking forward to it.
What? What do you mean? That's not good. All right. It's day whatever on the Continental Divide National Scenic Trail, and we're engaging in theology. Zoolander, what did you say about Jews? Zoolander's deeply anti-Semitic, aren't you? So, it was really funny if you like clipped out some of the night hiking sections and just made a full like video series on the entire trail of just night hiking.
Another really interesting thing about all this night hiking we figured out is that you can just kind of piss wherever you want, in the middle of the road, upside down. Doesn't matter. Nobody gets to see anything. It's about sunrise. We're just getting to the highway on this road walk. We're going to take about 12 miles into Silver City. We're back here with Liano, aka Zoolander.
Recognition is over there.
Yeah. But the gang's back together for the most part.
Yeah.
Nice long road walk to look forward to, though. The fantastic state of New Mexico infrastructure here. Make sure to fill a trailer with like 45 horses and drive over this about 20 times a day. Liana was quick to point out that there's a horse farm like 100 yards away from there. So y'all pray for these horses, please. We're taking a break on the side of the highway here. We've noticed that we're kind of just sitting above it in the middle of nowhere in a weird spot. And every single driver who drives past looks at us like we're aliens or something. I guess nobody expects somebody to just be sitting on the embankment overlooking a highway in the middle of New Mexico.
Across from the Tyrone mine.
Yeah. Well, this is Silver City. Walking through the neighborhoods, it's actually kind of quaint.